Hey everyone, Mary from SVG here with some brand new projects. I'm so excited I recently announced that I'm expecting at the end of May with my husband Tony. We're super excited about our baby girl, and we've been getting our nursery ready and just getting so excited, trying to learn as much as we can about what to expect and all that good stuff. So that's been taking a pretty big focus in my life, but couldn't be happier about that. And I'm very excited that I finally am releasing these projects, which I've been working on for a little while now. And I think you could really make them in a wide variety of colors to suit any kind of party. They would work really well for a birthday party, retirement party, anniversary party, New Year's Eve party, Christmas, winter, or even just some kind of minimalist, sort of maybe Scandinavian inspired decor when they're just in whites and neutrals. Really just hanging in almost any kind of space. I think they look really cool. I've been really enjoying seeing them hanging here in my craft studio at SVG Cuts. I love turning them on and just enjoying the nice glow that they provide throughout the day and into the night. So I hope you have a wonderful time enjoying them too if you decide to make them. And like I always say, I would love to see a photo of yours if you do make some. So I have regular light bulbs, regular LED light bulbs in mine here. You can do that, or you can also use battery powered LED lights. These are plugged into the wall right now, so they're nice and bright, but the bulbs are LED. So I have a light string here, which I'll link below and on this product page. If you want to make a trio of them, like I've done here, you could make all three of them, all three different ones. You can make three of the same, you can make two of one kind, one of another. If you want them to all be on the same cord with the same plug into the wall with, a hook in the ceiling, however you want to do that, you can do that. You can also do a single socket. So this is a triple socket on one cord with one plug. That's an option. You could do a single socket with a single plug into the wall is another option. If you do that, I would suggest using an LED bulb. It's a candelabra bulb. It's the equivalent to an incandescent candelabra bulb, but it doesn't get as hot and it uses less energy. I still would not leave these unattended just because it is a light bulb inside paper. I just would not leave it unattended for any reason, just to be on the safe side. However, that is what I recommend, and that's what I've done here. This comes out nice and bright, but of course it kind of limits you if you don't really know where to hang it or where to plug it in necessarily. I think you could just have the cord going up to a simple hook, just going straight over to the wall and straight down. That could definitely work. It's up to you how you want to do it. If you don't want to deal with the plug and the cord, I did quite a bit of research on some battery powered options that are pretty bright. So this is also linked in the product description below. This is an LED light. There are 3, 6, 9, 12 LED bulbs, so it does get pretty bright, and you can turn it up and down with this remote control. This is cool white. There's also warm white. I didn't see warm white when I got these. If I was to do it over, I would probably get the warm white, just a personal choice. But these are powered by batteries. So when it's inside your project, you can turn it off and on with this. You can do a flicker to make it flicker a little bit. So it's not as bright as the regular light bulbs in the socket that gets plugged into the wall. But for what it is, it gets pretty darn bright, and it's powered by 3 AAA batteries. I personally like to use the rechargeables. That way I don't have any guilt over letting them glow as long as I want and then recharging them and putting them back in there. No need to buy more batteries, which is nice. I use those rechargeables for a lot of candles around my house and other pretty lighting that I like to enjoy. So with that being said, maybe you're wondering, how do I change my light bulb or change my batteries if I need to? Each lantern includes a little hidden door on one side, which is the back because of the door. So you can just open that up and get to your light bulb or to your batteries if you need to change either of those. So with that being said, I hope you're super excited about making these. If you do, like I said, I definitely want to see. I can't wait to get to your guys' reaction to these projects, and very excited to be releasing them. So with that, with all that information out there, of course, as always, in your download, you also get this handy PDF menu document, which you can print out like I've done, or you can just look at it on your computer. But all of our downloads do include PDF menu documents. It's something that you definitely want to take a look at because it's going to include some helpful diagrams and information for you to check out that's going to make your life easier when you're cutting out your project. No matter what type of cutting machine, what brand cutting machine or software you're using, it's going to be helpful universally to everybody. And then you can follow along with this video to put yours together once your pieces are cut out. So I've got all my pieces cut out to put all 3 of these together. So let's go ahead and get started. First of all, for the small lantern, I would like to identify the pieces first, just so you have an idea of what you're working with. So the small lantern here has these pieces that it's made up of, and if you look closely, 1, 2, 3, 4 are identical like this. This one is almost identical, but it's got a circular cutout at the top here. Then this one is the same almost too, but it's got a circular cutout here. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then you've got 3 like this, which are identical. Then again, 1 that's almost the same but with a circular cutout. Again, almost the same but with a circular cutout. And then 1 that's almost the same but with this little trap door cut out here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there's basically 6 that look like this, 6 that look like this, and then we've got some variations here. So I think it's helpful to just have an idea of what you're working with and then to identify them in person the same way. So here we go. Here's one that's got the circular cutout. Another one with the circular cutout here. So that's these 2 right here. And then we've got 4 that are identical that look like this. And we'll talk about the way that they're folded here in just a moment. Then for these down here, I've got a circular cutout here, as well as a circular cutout here. So that is these 2. Then we've got 1, 2, 3 that are identical and plain, just like this. And this one with the little trap door here. So this is so you can access your light bulb or your light element once your project is assembled. Next, you can see on the next page of your PDF document that's included in your download exactly how to fold both styles of shape here. So the mountain fold, that's a mountain fold like this. It's coming up towards you. That's a valley fold. It's going away from you. And I've identified those here with a blue line for mountain or a red line for valley. So we've got mountain fold, valley fold, and then valley fold, mountain fold, like this. So I have gone ahead and folded my shapes in that way, just like that. So for all 6 of these, we've got mountain fold, valley fold, mountain fold, valley fold. And I've done that for all 6 of these shapes, just like this. Then for this, same thing, just like the diagram shows. I've got mountain fold, mountain fold, mountain fold, mountain fold, valley fold for all 6 of these shapes. Then for my little trap door, I folded it both ways and then just left it flat so it's ready to be used in your final project. Next, you can see how the front and the back are laid out in your PDF that comes with your download. So I've got the pieces here for the front. You can see that at the top there's a circular cutout, and then on the back there's also a circular cutout here with the little trap door right here. So I've gone ahead and laid my pieces out just like that, and as you can see, for each of these I've folded over the top part, as well as for each of these like this, and I've laid them out just like that here on my table. So you can see the circular cutout up here as well as up here, and this little trap door right here, and then there's no other special cases anywhere else. So now we can go ahead and glue these together side to side for the front and then side to side for the back. So to do that, I'm going to put glue on this and glue that right to here. Then I'll do the same thing here. I'll put glue here and glue that there, and so on and so forth until the whole front is glued together and the whole back is glued together. Next, we're going to glue the front and the back together, basically, with the light on the inside. So first we can measure out our light. So depending on whether you want to use the cord with the light bulb, like this. This is a cord that plugs into the wall with an LED light bulb in it. You could use that. Or there's this battery powered LED light that has 12, it's either 9 or 12 LED lights all the way around it that you can use a string with, and it has a remote control. So in order to anchor this inside, we'll be tying it to a button on the inside so that it hangs right in the middle. And then to anchor this on the inside, if you're using this choice, we'll use some white electrical tape to wrap around the cord to stop it on the inside so that the bulb is right in the center. So we can go ahead and measure this out if you're doing this choice. You want to put your bulb right in the middle and just kind of see where you would want it to be stopped. Right about here. So I could wrap this with some electrical tape to prep that to go inside. So I will just wrap this around and around and around until it gets pretty thick so that it's too thick to go through that hole in the finished project. So if you're using this style of light, that's what you would do there. If you're going to use this style of light, we would want this to be right about here. So I would tie that on, and I would tie my button right about here. So if you're using the battery powered LED light, this is how you want to set up your light that's going to go inside. And again, if you're using the light bulb with the cord, you can set it up like this. So we'll be putting that inside our project in just a moment. But first we need to start to glue these together front to back. So to do that, all we're going to do is line up the top here with the top here, and I'm going to glue these together, all of these together here, leaving this till almost the end. I'm going to put the light bulb in, and then I'm going to do these at the very end here. So first I'll glue all of these together, then I'll do these with the light inside, and then this, and then that. So just do another double check that your two spots here are lined up. So I'm going to get these going in the right direction by putting all these tabs on the outside, because we're going to be gluing each of these onto the outside. So they're not all going to stay in place, but you can go ahead and put them where they're going to be going before you start to glue the two sides together. So as you can see, I glued down this, all the way around except for this top area here. I kind of goofed up over here, that's why that looks funny. And then I'm going to flip this over and do the same thing on this side. So now everything is glued down except for these top points up here. So if you're using this type of light, you can go ahead and put that inside right now. Or if you're using this type of light, you can go ahead and put that inside. So I'll go ahead and do that with this one, making sure that the button is inside, and then glue down these tabs, being sure to get glue all the way to the inner corner there so that it's nice and secure. So there we have it. You can use your remote control that comes with it to turn it on. Super cool. Next, for our medium lantern, you can see in your PDF document that comes in your download the shapes that are involved with that. So for this first shape, it looks like this. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 that are identical, just like that. Then this one is almost the same, but it's got a little trap door cut out in it. That's for accessing your light feature when your project is all put together. There's just one like that. Then this one's almost the same, except it's got a little circular cutout here, and there's 2 of them. And this one is almost the same, but it's got a little circular cutout here, and there's 2 of them. So you've got 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So you've got 14 shapes that basically all look like this with a couple variations here. So let's go ahead and take a look at those in real life. I cut mine all out of this color, kind of like a tan. So they almost all look just like this. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, here we got a circular cutout here and another one. 8, circular cutout here, circular cutout here, trap door here, and 9. So here's 9 pieces here that are plain, just like in your PDF here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, plain. Then trap door here, which is 10. Then 2 of these with a circular cutout up at the top. 11, 12. And 13, 14. Almost the same again, but with a circular cutout here. Next, you'll want to fold them, all of them just like this. So we've got mountain fold, which looks like this. It's coming up towards you. Valley fold, the fold's going away from you. This is indicated by a blue line. This is indicated by a red line in this diagram. So for each piece, they look like this. You're going to do mountain fold, valley fold for all of them. So that looks like this. So mountain fold, valley fold, just like that for all of those pieces. Next, you can take a look at the PDF document that shows the layout of the medium lantern, and you can lay your pieces out the way that it shows for the front and the back. You just want to note this circular cutout is at the top as well as the top on the back, and this little trap door is right here. So I have gone ahead and laid my pieces out like that. I folded these flaps over so that it starts to take shape here. I've got the circular cutout up at the top there, as well as up at the top here, and my little trap door is right over here, just like in the diagram. So then you can go ahead and start to glue together the pieces side to side using these tabs here. So we're just going to put glue on this, glue that right to its neighbor, and work your way around until the whole front is together and the whole back is together. I forgot to mention that you want to try not to get glue in this little cutout area. So to do that, you can you can just put the glue along the edge and just kind of leave it off right there. So that's the area I'm trying to avoid there. So I'm going to leave the glue off of this area. I think that should work. Still not quite perfect over here. So now all 7 points of my front are glued together. There's that circular cutout at the top. I'll go ahead and do the same thing for the back side. Next, we're going to glue the front and the back together with the light element inside. So if you're going to be using the cord with the light bulb, you can prep that now. Here's the cord with the light bulb, and we're going to be using some electrical tape wrapped around to anchor that inside this top. So you would just want to align that so it's in the center, and then see how far up you want your electrical tape anchor to be. I would say right about here, and then we'll just wrap that around right there. So you just want to keep wrapping it around until it's thick enough to not go through that opening at the top. So we can set that aside till we're ready to put that in. Or if you're going to be using the battery powered LED light fixture, you can use your string of choice. I'm going to use twine in this case, and something to anchor it. This clear button works well, or something similar. So you'll want to feed this through. And then position the light element so that it's, well, we can go ahead and tie this on. We want it to be dangling in the center, and then we'll tie the button into place to keep it in the right position. So having the button right about there works. So I'll just tie this in a double knot to keep it in place, and then set that aside for when I'm ready. With the remote control, you can turn it on, do a flicker or steady. You can turn the brightness up and down and turn it off. So next I'm going to glue the front to the back, making sure that these circular cutouts line up with each other. And each of these triangular shaped pieces go on the outside, and we'll use those to glue the front to the back. So I'm going to go ahead and position them where they're going to be going, and then I'll start gluing them down. So these are not going to want to stay in place very well, but as long as they're more or less going where they're supposed to be going, it's going to help as you start to glue them down. So here's my circular cutout at the top. I'm going to do that towards the end. So first I'm going to glue down these points, and then I'll worry about the top too. So we can start by putting glue around the edge. You can be more precise with yours if you'd like. and glue that right onto its neighbor there. So as you can see, here's my circular cutout, and I'm saving these two top points for the end. I went ahead and glued one side of these down, and I'll do the other side. So as you go, if you I'm sort of like squeezing these together and sort of pushing them together as I go to kind of help it take shape so that it's not fighting you as you're trying to glue it together. I think that's helpful. And the more you glue down, the more it takes shape and it's easier to work with too. So just have patience and take it one part at a time. So now everything is glued together except for these two top points. I left those open until the end so that I could then put my light feature inside, which I've already prepped. So regardless of which one you're using, you can go ahead and put that inside now. So next I will glue this tab down, being careful to get my glue all the way up into the corner there so that it's nice and secure. And I'll do the same thing on the other side, and then I'll close it up with those final two. So there we go, light bulb inside, all glued together. And if I had used this, I would have put that inside at that point as well. And no matter which light fixture you use, you're able to access it using your little trap door here if you want to change the light bulb or if you need to replace your batteries. Finally, for the large lantern, this is what all the shapes look like. They're almost all identical except for a few variations down here, but these are all the same. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 pieces that are identical, just like this. This is almost the same, 12, but it's got a trap door cut out for your light element to be accessed in your finished project. Then 13, 14 are almost the same, but with a little circular cutout up here. Then 15, 16, almost the same, but with a little circular cutout down here. So we've got 16 shapes that are almost the same, except for these little variations here. I've gone ahead and cut out all of mine. And here's the 2 with the circular cutout at the top. That's 13 and 14 there. Then we've got 2 more that have a circular cutout down here. that's 15 and 16. Let's see if I left my, I'm not sure where the trapdoor one is here in this stack, but the remaining pieces are almost all identical. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11 with this trapdoor here. So there's 11 like this, trapdoor, 12, and then 13 and 14 here, and then 15 and 16 here. To fold each of them, you can refer to this, which shows you the mountain fold, the valley fold, which is indicated in this diagram by the blue and the red lines. So we've got mountain fold, and valley fold. And the way to identify if your shape is oriented the right way, this is correct, this is not correct. The way to tell is, you can see there's two dots here. If you flip it like this, you're gonna have 1 dot, 1 dot, 1 dot. That's the top for all of the pieces. So you know that you're looking at the top with the dot, 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 dot. That's the top of every piece. So you want to fold, mountain fold, valley fold for all of these, like this and like this. Next, I'm going to glue the front together as well as the back together. But I'm going to start with the front here, and I've got my pieces laid out just like this. The only thing to note is this circular cutout up at the top, and then the back is identical with that circular cutout at the top, as well as this little trapdoor right about here. Well, right exactly there. So I laid out my pieces for the front here, and they're all identical except for this cutout at the top. And again, to identify the point, you can see there's two single dots up there. So you'll be able to tell that things are lining up when you have it the right way, because all these dots line up with each other also. So I'm going to go ahead and glue all of these together side to side, and then I'll do the back. To do that, I'll just put some glue around the edge. And place its neighbor right onto it there. Just like that. So you can go ahead and do the same thing all the way around with all 8 points. So I've got all 8 points glued together. I'm just closing up this seam here for the final spot. Then I'll put this aside and do the same thing with the back. So again, I'll have my circular cutout up here, and then next I want this piece that has the trap door to be next to that, and then I'll fill in until I have 8 points using all my pieces. So again, I have all 8 points glued together. I'll just close up this final seam. With my circular cutout at the top, I can get the front, and I'll just glue them together front to back. So making sure that my top is aligned here, both the front and the back have that circular cutout there. I'm going to glue these together front to back. So if you want, you could put these flaps on the outside on both sides if you want. If you feel like that's easier, you could do that. On my original, I had all the flaps on the inside. So it's really up to you. I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing that I did before and have them on the inside. So I'm going to glue together all of the points except for these top two, because I'm gonna put my light inside before I close that up. But first I can start by gluing my points together. So I'm just putting a line of glue mostly around the edge of the flap. And lining it up and pressing it down. Next, you can put your light feature inside. If you'll be using a light bulb on a cord with a socket, you can go ahead and see where you'd like it to be hanging, approximately in the middle here. So the main part of the light is right in the middle. So I want my stopper to be right about here. So I'll take some white electrical tape and wrap that around over and over and over until it is thick enough so that it won't be sliding out of that circular opening there. So you can go ahead and put that inside your project, or if you're going to be using the battery powered LED lights, you can also put that so that it's about in the center, and then use whatever kind of string you'd like. I'm going to use this twine, and I'm going to attach a button to the twine right above that, which I've already gone ahead and done here. This is that's about right when it's inside the project. So if you're doing it this way, you can go ahead and put that inside your project now also. If you are using a light socket with a cord, you really want to go ahead and put that in through the top right now and leave that inside while you finish gluing your two remaining points together like this. So you want to make sure that you're gluing it together nice and securely there next to the circular cutout, so that your button or your electrical tape wrap will be nice and secure, holding your light in. So now your lantern is all together, and mine's got the battery powered LED lights inside, which are not quite as bright as the regular bulb, but more convenient perhaps depending on your situation. So there you have it, 3 fun, new, large-scale wow factor projects. I hope you have a great time making them. Like I always say, if you do, I would love to see a picture on Facebook, your blog, pin it on Pinterest, put it on Instagram. However you like to share, I always love to see, and so do the rest of our crafty friends. So thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time, and happy crafting.